Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, I'm Laura Longley, and you're listening to the Laura Longley Show call-in show on Blog Talk Radio. As you can tell, I have a bit of a cold, so if I sound a little raspy or there's a little bit of coughing, I apologize for that. But stay with us anyway for the next hour, and let us help you experience ways to get unstuck and live an inspired life full of meaning, purpose, and happiness. Each week, on Sunday's show, I share a practice you can take away and use in your own life to get unstuck and moving forward in the direction you want to go. Then I open up the phone lines for your calls. The call-in number is 718-766-4415. Again, that's 718-766-4415. And you can call in right away with any issue or problem where you'd like some guidance, wisdom, or coaching from me. You can also listen to the Laura Longley Show on Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com. And on Monday's shows, I have a guest who will share their techniques and practices for creating authentic change. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking with Alan Little about his True Voice system. This is a way in which you can find your unique meaning and purpose in your life. And in the meantime, if you want to call in right now, the call-in number is 718-766-4415. I would love to take your call and help you figure out ways to get unstuck. I also want to let you know that in honor of New Year's resolutions, of which only 8% get kept each year, I'm offering a free program called 31 Days of Authentic Change. You can sign up to receive this mailing at thelauralongleyshow.com. In the banner at the top on the right-hand side, you'll see where to go to get more information about that. And so the practice I want to share today actually does come from these 31 days of authentic change. And it's the first one in the series because it's really an important place to start when you're wanting to make authentic and lasting changes in your life, and that is with creating your vision. If you don't know what it is that you want to create, it's pretty hard to get there. It's kind of like if you're going on a road trip but you don't know what your destination is, you're probably not going to end up someplace you want to be. Well, you might, but it would just be by what's the word I want, accident. It wouldn't be purposeful. So when we want to make changes in our lives but we're feeling stuck, it really helps to begin by envisioning what we want our life to be like. And this accomplishes a couple of things. First of all, we begin to focus on what we want and not what we don't want, which is typically what we're doing when we're unhappy and stuck. We're looking at how bad our life is. Secondly, we start to get clear on what we want. Many times when we're stuck, we only know what we don't want. And so by starting to look at really what do I want, then we start to get some clarity around that. Thirdly, we feel happier as we quit focusing on all our problems and start to dream about the life that we want to create. So nothing's changed yet, but just by thinking about what we want to be different or what we want to create, we start to feel happier. And as we focus on what we want, we start to see it show up in our lives. This is the law of attraction. What you focus on expands. So that's why it's important to have a vision for what you want in your life. And so the practice here is to spend 15 minutes writing your vision for your dream life. And you may want to write it in a journal that you can reference later, but be sure to know where you wrote it because you will want to come back to it. And really, this is the time to pull out all the stops. Don't worry about how you'll achieve it. Don't worry about whether you think you can achieve it. Just dream. If you had a magic wand or a genie that would grant you an infinite number of wishes, what would you create? Let go and allow yourself to become a child again, dreaming about your life as an adult without having the faintest idea of what is feasible or realistic. So some guidelines for creating your vision. And before I give the guidelines, let me just once again give out the call-in number so that you can call in as I'm finishing up with this practice. The call-in number is 718-766-4415. Would really love to get your questions and your issues so that we can work together a little bit on solving them. Now, coming back to writing your vision, here are some guidelines for it. First of all, you need to write it in the present tense as if it has already happened. And an example of this is, I am married to my soulmate, the love of my life. So we're stating it as if it's already happened. You want to use emotion words that describe how you'll feel when this is true in your life. I'm so excited to be using my unique talents in a role that I love. I feel appreciated and valued every day as I make my contribution to the world. That feels very different than saying, I have a job I like, right? It adds a little bit of oomph to it. You want to write about the end result you want, not how you will create that result. You don't want to write, I am thrilled that all my marketing efforts paid off and my business is thriving. What you do want to write is, I am thrilled to be the owner of a thriving business, because you don't know how the universe will fulfill your desire for a thriving business. It might be through your marketing efforts, but it might be in a way you can't even imagine. And kind of along the same lines, you can be as specific or general as you like, but each of these have their pitfalls if you get too specific or too general. If you're too specific, then you lose out on other great things that can show up in your life. If you write, I feel warm and cozy in my house by the sea, you'd miss out on a house that was on a lake or had a view of the mountains if those locations have just as much pull for you. And by the same token, if you're too general, you may not get what you really want. If you write, I feel warm and cozy in my house by the sea, you might end up with a little cabin with a pull-out couch for a bed and a fireplace with no other source of heating, when what you really meant was a house with at least 3 bedrooms and a furnace. So you want to find that middle road there where you're being specific enough that what you want, what you really want, is what's going to show up, but not so specific that other things that could fulfill that desire are thrown away. And last but not least, you can write about each area of your life: health, career, relationships, finance, and spirituality. Or you can choose to focus in the area that you are most wanting to shift for right now. So that's kind of the guidelines. Well, not kind of that. Those are the guidelines for writing your vision for your life and some of the reasons why you want to do that. And I just want to encourage you, number one, to do it. And when you do it, have fun and dream really big. And again, if you want to call in for some advice, counseling, guidance, coaching, wisdom, whatever you'd like to call it, I'm here to talk to you. The number is 718-766-4415. And we're going to give the call-in piece just a few more minutes since this is the first show. I know that it's quite possible there will be no callers, but I want to leave it open for people who maybe are calling in a little bit late. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about authentic change wisdom, because this program, this 31-day program of emails, daily emails, is called Authentic Change Wisdom. And I want to tell you how I came up with that name and why it is really meaningful. And I'm going to do this by telling you what the dictionary definitions are of those 3 words. So authentic means real or genuine, not copied or false, true and accurate. So we want any change we're going to make in our lives to come from that place of authenticity, that place of being real and genuine. And it's not copied, it's not comparing to someone else, it's true and accurate for us. Change means to make or become different. And so that's the lasting part that I want to throw in there. We want lasting change where we actually become different, not that we just do something different, but we become different as a result of that change. And people sometimes get scared about, or I don't want to say scared is the right word, but anyway, people are concerned because they feel like if they want to make that kind of a change, it means there's something wrong with the way they are now. And that isn't it at all. What these changes are, where we're becoming different, is we're really not becoming anything different than we are at our core. We are becoming more of who we are at our core, more of our essence, more of who we are as a soul. And then finally, wisdom, the dictionary definition is the ability to discern or judge what is true, right, or lasting. Insight. So again, we're using our authenticity, we're using what is true and accurate for us to discern, to judge what changes we want to make. So that is the the genesis of authentic change wisdom. So we are not getting any callers, so I'm going to wrap up the show early today, but I do want to encourage anyone who's listening to this archive every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, which is UK time. The show is on, and it is open for callers for a full hour. So if you have something that you need some help with, please do call in to one of the other shows, and that's again Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I also want to share with you that on the Monday show, because I also do a Monday show on Transformation Talk Radio, what we have coming up there and where you can find me. So I'm Laura Longley. You're listening to the Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight, and you can find me on Facebook at the Laura Longley Show and at thelauralongleyshow.com. And some other ways to get help with moving forward in your life. Again, the Facebook page, I post there multiple times every day with tools and tips and practices, and I also encourage engagement there so that we can help each other. On Twitter, you can find me at Laura Longley, SHO, and of course, as I said, the LauraLongleyShow.com. And we've had some really great guests on the show over the past year and a half that I've been doing it, and you can listen to archives at the LauraLongleyShow.com. And if you want to get written transcripts, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and you'll get the link to written transcripts of each show, and you can find that sign up in the right sidebar on the LauraLongleyShow.com page. And I just want to remind you that I am doing 31 Days of Authentic Change. Again, you can find more information about that at the LauraLongleyShow.com in the banner at the top of the page, where every day you'll get a practice in your email that takes 15 minutes or less to do that day that will lead you down the path to really creating the life that you want. So I want to thank you for tuning in to the Laura Longley Show with me, Laura Longley. And please join me every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. GMT for Ask Laura, my weekly call-in advice show, and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on KKNW in Seattle, WBLQ in Rhode Island, or TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, I'll be talking with Alan Little about True Voice, his system for discovering your authenticity. I hope you can join us. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you back here next time.